fired from the company he founded on Friday. Sam Altman, co-founder of OpenAI, is set to join Microsoft as of Monday. It's been a turbulent past 3 days for OpenAI, the company behind the generative AI chatbot ChatGPT. The company's board removed co-founder Altman on Friday, prompting other high-profile departures as well. The board underlined Altman's behavior and lack of transparency in his interaction with the board as reasons for his ouster. Now, the news comes as a shocker to the investor, who also put in, by the way, a fight. But the board did not relent. Microsoft is the biggest investor in OpenAI with a $13 billion bet on the company. So what did Microsoft do? They hired Sam Altman and co-founder Greg Brockman. A few hours ago, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella announced the appointment of Sam Altman, saying that they will move quickly to provide the team with resources necessary for their success. Meanwhile, OpenAI has also hired former Twitch chief Emmett Shear as the new interim chief executive officer of OpenAI. A lot has happened with OpenAI, Sam Altman, in the past couple of hours. We'll try and break those information down and understand what's happening here. Joining us at this point is Manish Maheshwari, co-founder Fanry.ai, former head of Twitter India. Also with me in the studio is R. Sridharan, editor, International TV9 Network. Gentlemen, both of you, thank you very much for taking time out. Before I come to you, Sri, let me also quickly get in Manish into the conversation. Manish, thank you for speaking to Newsline. I want to begin by asking, what are you making of this sudden movement? This came as a surprise, we're given to understand, from what we're reading in the press, not just to Sam Altman, but also to Microsoft.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot to digest here, and a lot has transpired over the weekend while all of us in India were watching the World Cup. And this is quite dramatic. I mean, on one side, you see a high-profile CEO of a cutting-edge AI company getting dismissed by the board. And then you see the investor pulling a coup in terms of hiring Sam, and Microsoft being the winner out here. So I kind of feel like if you see the net of this, I think Microsoft has come out as a winner. They have effectively added the team at OpenAI to their group. So it's almost like an acqui-hire at almost no cost to them. And I'm almost predicting that when the market open, I think the valuation or the market cap for Microsoft will go up, because this is a very positive move for Microsoft. And they have come out as a winner by getting Sam and his team to join Microsoft.
Right. And Shri, as dramatic as it gets, I think after this,
absolutely.
After this, a lot of us are going to fear boardroom meetings.
So the first thing, Shweta, is that Sam Altman is no ordinary CEO and OpenAI is no ordinary company. Sam Altman is the poster boy. In fact, I would go a step further and say that he's actually the messiah of AI. So where he leads, people follow. He founded OpenAI in 2015, and he's quietly labored away to get AI to a tipping point, which it did, last year or 2 years ago, approximately. So Sam Altman is the most defining figure in artificial intelligence, at least in the generative AI space, that he has popularized and become the face of. You have not just industry leaders, but world politicians seeking him out on the future of AI. So to my mind, Shweta, the goings-on at OpenAI, in some sense, are reflective of the deep divide which the global technology industry is facing on the whole issue of AI. Now, what do I mean by that? There are people who are warning against AI at all levels. They're saying this is going to be the end of humanity as we see it, as we know it today, right? So that's one group which is saying that we shouldn't take even a step further into AI. Then there's another, group which has the exact opposite view, saying that, AI is a great technology, and we have allowed all technology to flourish and develop. We should not throttle AI technology at this point. Mm-hmm. We should allow innovation. We should allow people to play around with AI and let developers come up with applications. So what we're witnessing in some sense is an underlying fight, a feud that's happening in the tech industry. And as Manish said, this game, at least this set has gone to Microsoft, because they have managed to hire not just Sam Altman, but also Greg Brockman. And I think with these two people joining, you can be very sure of, the top talent in OpenAI, all the top engineers are going to switch over to Microsoft. So tomorrow, like Manish said, when the US markets open, don't be surprised if there's a very strong uptick in the MSFT stock ticker.
All right, so a lot has happened. Thank you for breaking it down for us. Let me take you, Manish, back to Friday. This is an announcement that surprised a lot of people. A lot of people like us journalists who didn't know what exactly happened, but there was a quick statement that came out from the board saying and suggesting, no, there is no malfeasance. There is no case of corruption. There is no case of mishandling or mismanagement. We do not agree with the way Sam Altman is running the company. Do we still have any details? I believe there is no detail. There's just so much speculation in the market, Manish.
Yeah, no, I think I would like to build on what Shridharan said, right? So it reflective of the ideological divide between, if I may use the word, doomers versus boomers, right? I mean, so there's a group of people who are saying, okay, we need to slow down, look at the ethical implications of what AI would mean and how we can use AI for the benefit of humanity. And there's also the other group, which they are calling as, you can call it boomers, or they also call themselves effective acceleration oriented people, and who are saying that, like every technological advancement, we should use this for the benefit and growth. And there is that divide. And OpenAI has a very peculiar or interesting past. It started as a non-profit, and it is structured as a 503 corporation. And within that, they have a for-profit subsidiary, which is what effectively Sam Altman was driving, and that's what he was trying to get investment from Microsoft and other. So clearly the board that comprises of people who are much more on the non-profit side of things, they were increasingly becoming uncomfortable with the pace and the way I think Sam was leading it. And that's where I think the divide started happening. And Ilya, who is the other co-founder, seemed to have, is in the other camp with the board members. And that's how this was sort of orchestrated as dismissal of Sam Altman in terms of how he was running the company. But if you look at it, I mean, they did not inform the investors. All the investors, including Microsoft and even Khosla Ventures, were blindsided with the dismissal. And all of them came out with their statements on Twitter, which is now X, saying that they are with Sam. And something was supposed to happen to correct it. And people were speculating that maybe the board would change, Sam would go back and be the CEO. But even I was not expecting that Sam and Greg would join Microsoft and Microsoft would pull this off. I'm also surprised how is that possible, because I'm sure when Microsoft must have invested, there would be some non-compete clauses and other things. So I think the legalities have worked out. But it seems like, at least on the business side of things, at least in terms of the logic of this, the two founders of OpenAI are now joining Microsoft, and the commercial details and the legal details will probably get worked out. But in principle, there has been agreement to do that, which is a very significant move.
Absolutely.
It gives Microsoft tremendous lead in the market. And I wonder what Google is doing all this while. I mean, I see no news from Google about all of this. So
that would
clearly,
be one other stock to watch out for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have to see, how this transpires. But Microsoft is clearly playing a very aggressive and a bold game when it comes to artificial intelligence.
I don't know who lost, but I know who won, which is Satya Nadella. Look at the turnaround time, Shri. I mean, it was really surprising when we were reading these developments as of this morning.
Right.
Friday, an event happens before the markets open in the US on Monday, which is supposed to happen later tonight. There is a turnaround, a threat made into an opportunity.
So, when this news broke, Shweta, my bet was that in some fashion, Satya Nadella would back, Sam Altman and Greg. I didn't quite expect that he'd probably just tap them, because I didn't think it would be that easy, given that there's a potential conflict, because Microsoft is an investor in OpenAI. I mean, it owns 49% of the company. So I didn't think it would be that simple. But apparently, since OpenAI was founded as a non-profit, maybe they did not have the commercial structure and the legalese and all the tie downs that you have for CEOs and their founders. So maybe that's one reason why it was so simple for Nadella to just say, okay, stop going to the OpenAI office and start coming to our office, like starting Monday. So that's going to be a big boost for Microsoft. And in this fight, which, unfortunately, Google seems to be losing because their own, AI hasn't been able to dazzle as much as, ChatGPT or even Bard now. So I think this is definitely a victory for Satya Nadella personally in some sense, because he was very early to latch onto the AI space. He backed the right horse, and now he's got both the horses running for him in Microsoft, inside Microsoft. So that's great news for him.
Absolutely. So you had Sam Altman, then you have Mira Murati, then you had now you finally have an interim CEO by the way of Emmett Shear. Emmett Shear also, posted on X that he is very hopeful of what's going to come as far as future of OpenAI is concerned. But specifically on the commercialization of OpenAI, which is where this entire division of thought process starts, whether AI should be commercial or not, what models should be commercial or not, whether OpenAI should be making profit, making money out of selling its models or not. He's made it clear that he's had a conversation with the board, Manish, and he believes in commercialization of AI models.
Yeah, I mean, you have to figure out some kind of a financial model, right? I mean, so this is very expensive to run, and every query that is made on, say, ChatGPT costs a few cents. And you talk about like billions of such queries. So how are you going to pay for it? So clearly there has to be some commercial model to it. Plus also when you think about it from a business perspective, there'll be a lot more people who would be interested in investing in it and taking it forward. So that's what it is. I mean, in my mind, Sam is very clear about it. He is a solid business guy. He has been the one who has been the anchor around which fundraise happened at OpenAI as well. So it's very clear that, and Microsoft is a for-profit company, so they will do everything to make sure that they maintain their lead in this area. They are able to defeat Google when it comes to search as well, because the whole paradigm of search will change from getting a links to actually getting insights and a conversational response to any human query, right? So I think that's where if I think Microsoft is able to capitalize on it, Bing could be much bigger than Google search. And that's what I think Satya is hoping for. I mean, so my view is like this is pure business, and I think this is a great move by Microsoft. And it seems like things are falling into place as far as commercial side of things are concerned on AI.
Okay, and what happens to OpenAI hereafter, Shri? I mean, there's been obviously a lot has happened in the past couple of days, which has taken a beating on their reputation as well, which is what Emmett Shear also alluded to, that Sam's ouster could have been dealt better. This is a PR communications failure. What happens to OpenAI? What happens to the existing projects? Will all of that take a beating?
So it all depends on how much of the talent, the top flight talent that they're able to retain at OpenAI, the guys who really have come up with the breakthrough technology. So it depends on whether Emmett Shear is able to inspire these great scientists who are working with OpenAI for them to stay with him and build a new vision of OpenAI. Or like Pied Piper, will Sam Altman take the top talent to like Microsoft now? My bet is it probably will be people will want to go with Sam Altman because he's more than just a poster boy in this industry. He's really an AI messiah. And to your previous point, Shweta, about the issues, the reason why people want OpenAI and other companies to take a pause and look at where AI is headed is because of deep concerns that it raises in terms of not just the ethicality of AI, the risks of disinformation, the risks to jobs of people. At multiple levels, AI is going to impact us whether we like it or not. Imagine an AI software running a nuclear plant or a power plant or running a railway network or an air traffic control system. Mm-hmm. So you don't know. I mean, this whole fantasy of a rogue AI agent, it's not too far-fetched. So these are real concerns, and that is why people like Elon Musk and even Meta, Mark Zuckerberg has come out and said that our AI language model is going to be open source, so that more people can look at the codes, more people can look at what we are training, the data, and we have access to all this. Otherwise, right now it's a opaque black box. Mm-hmm. You give people visibility into this, and then they're able to build their applications on top of it. So I do think there is a need. Even Sam Altman does not deny that. He does say there's a need to slow down and weigh in which direction do we want to go. But as it happens with technology, there is always pressure, especially when you have investors, to accelerate development, to do something faster sooner than later, Shweta.
Absolutely. And Manish, since we've run out of time, my last question perhaps is, now that all these dramatic turn of events have been put to rest, there seems to be some stability, at least for now. I want to understand from you, concerns around AI continue to persist. Microsoft is going to take a lead. They have the founders and they have the company. I think it's a win-win for them. What are you making of OpenAI as a company, the kind of progress that it has made in the generative AI space, and the future of AI? A lot has happened in the past couple of months, but concerns continue to persist, and very severe concerns, some of which my colleague alluded to here.
Yeah, so here's my view, right? AI is not new, right? Many tech companies have been working on AI, what OpenAI was able to do was to achieve a solid product market fitment. And they brought out this ChatGPT, which was like a conversational AI, which really caught the mainstream attention and everyone started paying attention to it. I mean, there was AI even before this, right? So that's one thing. And they really were able to push the outcome to such a level that, you cannot just distinguish between an AI-driven response from a human response. In fact, in many ways, the AI response was much better than a human response. So that is where I think they really changed the game. Now, my view is that clearly, after this move, right? I mean, there would be two factions in the AI community. One would be probably slow down a bit, and as she also pointed out, focus on the human benefit and other things, and probably put more guardrails. And there would be another one which would talk about like how do we move quickly.
Right.
Now, my view there is like any tool, it can be used in a good way or a bad way. So as a society and as regulators and community have to figure out what guardrails do we put so that we minimize the downside and we are able to get the best of the upside. Like every technology, internet or even like railways to that extent before, and I think you talk about any technology, I mean, it has pluses and minuses. So I think as a society, as community, we have to figure out how best to use it. But AI is here to stay, and I think AI will only grow much faster because the rate of growth and development is very quick in AI because, by very definition, it learns very quickly and is able to do things at a much faster pace than I think any other non-AI based technological solutions.
Absolutely. Guardrails is what we need. Firm guardrails for that matter. Manish, Shri, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us this afternoon. So what we know so far is former Twitch chief Emmett Shear is now the interim CEO of OpenAI. OpenAI, the turbulence, the drama around that boardroom meeting in which Sam Altman, the co-founder, was sacked, has now come to a temporary stop for now. We'll keep tracking all those updates right here on News9. Thank you very much for watching.